state here. We got state inspection that you can fail for any kind of play in the front end that's out of what they consider OEM specs, or I like to not have much play in anything at all. And in these trucks, we get a lot of questions on this kind of suspension. We'll fail somebody and they'll go to a shop and they'll say they didn't feel any play because they checked it on the lift. And I've even gone up to the Ford dealer even to check stuff because they don't know how to check their own ball joints. So you can come over here and kneel on this knee pad. So there's a few different things that you want to check for, and that is play in your lower ball joint and in your upper ball joint, and that's when you use a pry bar on the bottom of the wheel, and Christopher's going to pry up on it right now. And you pry up on it. When you pry up on it, you'll actually see it movement change from here to here. You'll actually see it clunk, clunk, clunk. And if he pushes on the top of the tire, Christopher, push on the top of the tire, you'll either see movement in this ball joint or you'll actually see movement in the wheel bearing if it were to be bad. And as you can see, we've found that there's a broken sway bar link. So we have one front end part that isn't a safety thing, but is more of a, you know, safety on the highway kind of thing, because you don't want broken sway bar links. So this truck actually needs a couple sway bar links. And then your other thing that you're going to be checking is you're going to be checking your outer and your inner tie rods, and there's an idler arm and a pitman arm. And if you shake the wheel side to side like that, you're going to be able to see if there's any kind of movement. And if you're trying to feel it, you can actually feel these with your hand while someone shakes it, and you can actually see what's actually good or bad. Now, one way to actually fix stuff is to just replace everything and shoot it with the parts cannon. But if something's got a lot of miles, that's not the wrong thing to do. But if you're in a budget and you want to just fix what's loose, this is the way to check it correctly, and that way you can actually repair things correctly. Whether there's a safety inspection in your state or not, having your kids and your wife in the truck when the tire comes off isn't exactly the funnest thing on earth. So I just want to point out all the wearable components besides things that are already obviously broken. But the sway bar bushings can wear, the links can wear, the inner and outer tie rod ball joints can wear, the upper ball joint, the lower ball joint, even these control arm bushings can actually wear out. These are actually close to needing to be replaced because there's a little bit of dry rot in the rubber, but there's no play in them yet, obviously from the checking them. And you want to jack it up right here by the lower control arm on any of these trucks, half ton, 3/4 ton, 1 ton, doesn't matter. You want to jack it up right by the lower control arm to check all this kind of stuff and check it correctly. And you want to do this side separately from that side. You don't want to try to use a screw jack while it's on the lift while you're at work or anything like that. And then you want to check, there's a ball stud on the very, very far in there. Christopher, you want to shake that wheel right there? And if you shake it, you can actually see how good or bad it is. And that one is actually still good. And we've replaced all this stuff with AC Delco stuff not too long ago. And there's another ball stud right here, and that one's on the idler arm. And then this is actually what they call the idler arm bracket. And I always replace these at the same time. And they can actually start to flip-flop this way, and it's very hard to actually check those, which is why I normally just always replace them. It's just something I've gotten into the habit of doing. And then this side over here is the same as the other side. You're going to feel play in the outer and the inner tie rods, or the lower and upper ball joints, or any of the bushings. And obviously this sway bar link also broke at the same time. Must have taken one of those harebrained turns of mine. And this wheel obviously spins freely as well. So those are all your things you want to check, and you want to check and make sure your shocks aren't leaking. Any leaking shocks or anything means that they're blown, and that can be unsafe. It can make the truck kind of hard to control. And it's always a good time to look and make sure that you have some rust poking out of your frame at the same time. So, and there's going to be a video soon about oil cooler lines, because that's what you would consider bad oil cooler lines. These are fairly leaky and will be replaced very soon with a kit from QuadStar, which is supplied by Leroy Diesel. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Hopefully this helps somebody out on how to check their front end if they are lost or if they've failed inspection. So, as always, be good.